Hey friends, welcome. April 14th, 2025. What if Jesus quietly kept walking among us? No crown, no fanfare, just his sandals traded in for sneakers. His robe exchanged for a hoodie and jeans, and his words still lighting up the darkest corners of our lives. Imagine he moves city by city, every day, bringing healing not just to the sick, but to the lonely, the anxious, the exhausted, and the unnoticed. Today, it's Monday, April 14th, 2025. And Jesus steps into Naperville, Illinois, a city of trails, tech jobs, tired families, quiet battles, and buried potential. And what does he do? Well, let's walk with Jesus. The Riverwalk is quiet. The water in the DePage River trickles softly beneath the covered bridge. A distant train horn echoes from the Naperville Metro station. The world is stirring, but not yet awake. Jesus sits on a bench near the Millennium Carillon, eyes closed, hoodie pulled up, birds sing above him in the sycamore trees. He whispers aloud, "Father, let today not be about crowds, but about the one, the lonely one, the unseen one. Let every person I meet feel the weight of your love. Let me carry what they can't, and let Naperville know you haven't forgotten them." A passing sanitation worker sees him briefly. There's something familiar in the way Jesus looks up and smiles. The man nods, somehow feeling lighter. At Metea Valley High, the Monday morning energy is low. Students slump into class with earbuds in, scrolling TikTok between bells. Teachers try to wake them up with little success. Jesus walks in unnoticed, not on stage, not in the office. He blends in, blue jeans, well-worn sneakers, a peaceful presence in a building full of anxiety. He stands by a row of lockers and notices a sophomore boy gripping his phone tightly. The screen shows a group chat full of cruel memes about him. Jesus steps closer. You weren't made to carry their cruelty. Don't become bitter. You are not their target. You are my child. The boy doesn't respond, but he deletes the chat. For the first time in weeks, he looks up and walks to class with his head held higher. In the library, Jesus finds a teacher hunched over a laptop, exhausted, trying to redesign a lesson plan after 2 students failed their unit. He sits beside her. You care deeply. That's your strength. Don't let burnout make you forget why you started. Even the shepherd gets tired, but he still leaves the 99 for the one. She exhales deeply. I needed that, she whispers, not knowing who he is, but knowing she's been seen. At Loaves Fishes, Jesus joins the warehouse volunteers. He doesn't announce himself. He lifts crates, sorts cans, and wipes sweat from his forehead like everyone else. In the waiting room, a father holds a crying toddler while his wife silently stares at the floor, clearly embarrassed to be here. Jesus carries their box to their car and says, "You are not a failure. Asking for help doesn't make you weak. It makes you wise. You are still providing. You are still fighting. And that is holy." The father nods silently, swallowing a lump in his throat. The mother wipes away a tear and smiles. Next in line is a widowed grandmother raising her grandkids. Her hands tremble as she reaches for a loaf of bread. Jesus leans in. You are raising a generation of warriors. You are not alone. You never were. She holds his hand and quietly prays, "Thank you for sending someone today." Jesus walks the halls of Edward Hospital, not with a clipboard, but with compassion that lights up the fluorescent lit corners. In room 406, a woman named Maria lays curled under a thin blanket, stage 4 breast cancer. Her hair is gone, her strength nearly is too. Jesus sits beside her, brushes the IV line gently, and speaks. Your beauty isn't fading, it's deepening. You are still radiant. I'm here. I will walk with you through every treatment, every sleepless night, every prayer whispered through tears. Her husband, sitting silently nearby, breaks down. I can't fix this, he says. Jesus replies, you don't have to. You just have to stay. Love is the greatest healing. Down the hall, he meets a young nurse named Devon, who feels overwhelmed by death, paperwork, and the pressures of perfection. Jesus touches his shoulder. You are more than your mistakes, he says, more than your exhaustion. You are my hands in this place. Devon closes his eyes and exhales, as if a weight just fell off his back. At the Naperville Art League Gallery, people sip sparkling water and critique paintings with hushed tones and tight smiles. Jesus enters unnoticed and stands in front of a chaotic piece. Wild brushstrokes, deep reds, jagged yellows. The artist, a 17-year-old autistic teen named Elias, stands nervously nearby, biting his lip. Everyone else skips his painting, but Jesus lingers for 20 minutes. He finally turns and says to Elias, just loudly enough for the others to hear, "This is brilliant. This is what heaven sounds like when the angels worship. Your gift speaks the language of souls." Elias's mother starts to cry. The gallery director walks over and quietly says, "We'll feature this in front and center next month." Elias grins for the first time in weeks. That's sweet. Then, excuse me. The night air is cool now. The lights inside St. Peter and Paul Church are dim. The bells echo faintly as Jesus sits in the courtyard among the tulips and old oak trees. He prays aloud again, but softer now, like a son debriefing with his father. They were tired today, Abba. So many weary hearts. But they still hoped. They still reached. Thank you for letting me walk among them. Let your spirit remain long after I've gone. Tomorrow, we walk again. He looks up at the sky one more time. He smiles and disappears into the stillness of the night. Sorry, I just know what it's like to be the handicapped guy that has brilliance within him, but people walk by, they look at you differently. They treat you based on something that's happened to you or something that you are without being able to control it. I've changed the way welfare infrastructure functions in every state in the United States. I've created softwares that process 97% of all the healthcare claims in this country. And still, sometimes I get the people who look at me like, he's had a stroke, he's got brain damage, how? Well, they said that about me at the beginning. I have an Ivy League MBA. How can you say that about me? I'm somebody who puts forth the effort. So sometimes when I go through these and I tell you a story, and part of that story is a little bit about me sometimes and who I am. And I think Jesus did come into my life on multiple occasions and reassure me when I needed it, because I can tell you that a lot of times it's not humanity that's provided that reassurance to me. Assuredly, there are many beautiful people in this world, but there are also some that could learn a lesson or two about humility and about the way that we treat others. And it really doesn't matter how accomplished you are in life, because you still have feelings. It doesn't matter what I ever do, how much money I have, how much great stuff I do. I still have feelings, and if somebody looks at me like I'm less than, or what I mean. People do it all the time. They don't know. And then as soon as they find out, oh, you're that Doug Vandergraaf, hi, and then they're my best friend. And I'm always like, it's a little too late for that now. Thanks, you've already made me feel about as small as I can. And I don't do that to people. And I hope you don't either. It's a tough lesson to learn. I have very little respect for people who make others feel small or who judge before knowing. A lot of people just see me limping down the street. Another handicapped guy. They don't know the effort, the time that I put in to make things better for others. I'm an employer, I'm a father, and I wish people saw those things first before they judged me and what they think my abilities are. I hope they do the same thing for you. So today, Jesus didn't take the pulpit. He took the cafeteria seat beside the lonely. He stood beside the nurse. He celebrated the neurodiverse artist. He reminded the overwhelmed mom, the laid-off dad, the grieving husband, the tired teen, that he is still here, not in headlines, but in the heartlines. And tomorrow, he'll show up again in a new city. Don't miss what he'll do there. He's going to change lives. Spoiler alert. He's going to love. And the story is going to be beautiful. So before you leave today, I'd like to offer a prayer for the hopes, needs, and intentions that you hold in your heart on this day. You ready? Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Amen. That was beautiful. Hey, if you don't subscribe to our channel, we'd love to have you as a subscriber. It's not 100% necessary, but it would be nice if you would join our community. That way, when I send out updates or important messages, things like that, you get it as a part of our community posts. And when I post new videos, some days it's just one video. Some days we get really inspired. Last week we had a day where we did 10 videos, and I'd love for you to be a part of that inspiration. Sometimes it's really, really beautiful. And the messages we share, I think, wow, that's really great. So I want you to be a part of that. So subscribe to this channel. And don't forget, most importantly, hug your family, because they love you. I'll be back tomorrow, I promise. Take care, my friends. God bless you.